Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday night Zoom call. We're really excited tonight. We've got a new coach that we're going to get to meet, and we're also going to go over our unified training system. Dee did a great presentation for us in Atlanta, and we want to share it with you all. So, Julie Apple, would you please introduce your new coach?
There you go. Yes, I'm excited to introduce Bev Fisher. I've known her family for probably almost 10 years now. And I love her daughters, her family, her son. And I had them in a small group almost 10 years ago at church. And I've known Bev since that time. She's a teacher and a coach, and jumped on program back in April. And since then, she's lost, what is it now, Bev? I think about 63. Going on and just doing great on the program. And right away, I noticed that she was a great coach candidate because she was talking about, oh my gosh, and this, and I could help this person, and this is just changing my world, and just so excited. So she's jumped on the beginning of this month. So we got to meet yesterday. So Bev, if you want to share your story a little bit, go ahead.
Okay. You pretty much said a lot of it, Julie. When I first started the program, I would go into this thinking that I was going to start the program. Thought that we were going to get Julie to just train us, and then she's kind of said, well, maybe we should try to work on something, because she knows that I've had joint problems for a long time, and I was diagnosed with osteoarthritis in hips and knees. Then I fell down the steps the day after I started and had problems with my back, and I said, the only way that I'm going to get any better is to get this weight off of it. And really has been the easiest thing I've ever done. And I've had, my weight has been up pretty much all of my life, and this is the only thing that I've been successful with. And I have not gained a pound since April. I was away for 5 consecutive weeks this summer, traveling, teaching, training teachers and stuff, and still came home and lost weight. So it's been great. It's actually 64 and a half today.
Wow. Congratulations, Bev. You're in for a real treat. You're going to see a lot more of that as you help others on the same journey. We all had that same experience, and it's really cool to just see it just multiply. And thank you so much for being here. Can't wait to see more of you. So, Dee Corchin, let's go ahead and just, I'm going to go ahead and make you the host. And we are going to learn a little bit and get more familiar with our new unified training system.
Well, that sounds good. Susan, maybe don't unmute or don't mute yourself until I start screen sharing, just to make sure it's all working right in case I need you.
You are the host now.
So Susan said, just like Bev said, I'm so excited about you coming on board as a coach. And the one thing I heard you say was this was the easiest thing you ever did. And I think it's because we have a pretty, systematic process. And if you follow the process works. And that's what we want for our training system for our health coaches. We want to be able to just plug in and have a system that we can plug into and that it works. And I'm going to start screen sharing. I shared this presentation at our regional training. And if you were at National Convention this summer, you heard about the new training system. But what we're going to do tonight is kind of walk through it so that if you are a new health coach with Take Shape for Life, you can start to see what's available to you. And if you're an existing health coach, it's a great opportunity for us to go back in and get familiar with the system, not only for our own information and resources, but more importantly, as we're starting to help a new health coach through the process. So I'm going to go ahead and screen share, I think. Let's see. And can you guys see that, the full screen of the unified training system? Yes?
I'm going to unmute, and then give me a thumbs up. I can still see you, so give me a thumbs up if you need me to get back on, okay?
Okay.
I'll hear you, but I'm going to mute myself.
Okay.
I think it'll sound better.
All right, so we're calling this our unified training system. I'm not able to change screens. Oh, there we go. And so the real intention of this is duplication. What we had found in the past was that we had different teams of health coaches from across the country. We have a lot of great leaders, but we were all doing the same thing, but just a little bit differently. And sometimes even within the same organization, maybe even like within Susan's organization, we were doing things slightly differently. So we really wanted to make it very duplicatable so that anybody could kind of step into the process and be able to move forward without any problem. And so, like I said, it wasn't really that way historically. And I love this visual because it was like the new health coaches standing there, and we're just kind of, flooding them with information and just saying, okay, are you getting it? So now we have it where it's available, where they can get it in bits and pieces, and be able to go back to it and find it. So it's in a very simple place to find. So the objectives are just what I said, just to have it unified. We want it very simple. We want it organized. We want it very user-friendly, easy, to engage, and very phased approach. So sometimes we might just enter as a health coach with a goal. All we really need to do is get up and running so that we can learn how to share what we're doing and set our goals and start to share about the program and start to support clients. But then down the road, we might then need the additional training to start to support coaches. So it's laid out that way. And so I just want to give some screenshots of where to find this training. So if you're a new coach, this is the back office, My Office in Motion. And once you're logged in, if you click on the training tab, which is over there on the far right, you'll now get this drop-down menu. And you'll see that the 4 green items there are the ones that are available to us now. Getting started as a new health coach, of course, would be our first one. The next one module would be sharing, Take Shape for Life. The next one is client acquisition and support, and then health coach sponsoring and support. So I'm going to be most specific walking through the first one. We're not actually going to do the videos and modules, but I want to show you what's available in it. And so we'll go most in depth with the first one, but then what you'll find is that the same format is replicated in the other modules, so that it's going to be very familiar once somebody is going through this process. Every time you sign in and you click on one of these modules, there's 2 basic categories. There's going to be the training and tutorials. That's actually the walkthrough that an individual is going to go through, where they're going to be clicking through screens, watching videos, clicking through to get to the actual end of it. And then there's going to be a tools and resources section, so that everything that is referenced within those training and tutorials are easily accessible when you want to go back to it. So it's a very linear path. It's very simple to follow. I had shared at our health coach training, I did corporate training for years, and I've worked with all kinds of online systems. And I was like, this is probably the most simple and basic, which is what we need, because it means it's not complex and it doesn't take a lot of time to figure out even how to get from one screen to another. We want people to just be able to jump in and be effective through the training. So, for the very first one, which is the starting as a new health coach, the sections within the module are, there's 5 of them, and they're listed here. And each one of them, your business coach will work with you on this, but it's basically helping an individual decide, like the idea of health coaching, but we really need to frame up, just like when we decided to go on our health journey, we need to put a frame around what it is we really want. And your business coach will help you with this, but really kind of understanding, what do you hope to accomplish from Take Shape for Life? We know it's going to help other people, but how's it going to help you personally? And is there an income goal that you want? Is there a certain amount of people that you want to help? So that's what that's around. How to get started with that, how to build a list of candidates, and then what are we going to say and how are we going to say it? And that basically means, like how Bev started with us at the beginning, how are you going to share your story? How are you going to share with people what you're doing and why you're doing it? And then there's going to be the tools and the additional resources. These are going to be all the documents that we'll be able to download and then print and then be able to use as support. And I want to make just a real big point here that when they came out with this new revised training, they simplified what comes in our health coach kit. So a lot of what was included in a paper form in our health coach kit is no longer on paper, which is great because it's going green, and those forms are often updated. So it's not like we're going to ever be working with obsolete forms, but now it's all going to be online. So it really is going to be important as a new health coach or as a health coach training a new health coach to know where this information is. So these are some of the forms that are available. So what it looks like is this. So they clicked on the first module, and this is the screen that's going to pop up, the Getting Started as a New Health Coach. And just what I said, the training and tutorials, it's just clicking that green button to get going. And we'll just kind of quickly page through what it looks like. Before I do that, at the bottom of the screen, if you don't want it, maybe you've already done the tutorial, this is where all the forms are. So this is where your health coach will work with you to show you how you make your connections list, your contact list, how to put together your 1-minute story. These will be the documents that you'll use for that. So this is what the page looks like. It's very user-friendly as far as you see the little gray arrow on the bottom right side, just basically paging through these screens. And they'll give a definition on every module, just kind of letting you know what everything is on the page, how you track your progress. What's very nice about this is that it is the kind of system that you can start and stop. So you know how life is. Sometimes we start something, we think we have plenty of time, and then we get a call from a potential client or something happens. And of course we want to stop. So you can very easily stop this and then go back and resume where you were before. Gives you just kind of an overview of it, what to expect in this module. Again, that constant reminder to work with your health coach. And then what I love about it is it tells you where to go next once you've finished this module. It's kind of fun. They personalize it. You put your name in there, and then throughout the training, it personalizes it. It'll say like, well, so Bev, you know, congratulations on making your decision to become a health coach. So it just makes it mean a little bit more as you go through it. And then here's what it looked like. Every module has a video that goes with it, which I love these videos. They're short. I think the shortest one, and all the ones I was looking through, shortest one was about 4 minutes long, and the longest one was about 15 minutes long. So they're not grueling, painful videos. They're very informative. But what I love about it is that they're from our top leaders, and a lot of them, especially when we get to the ones about sharing about the program and sharing your story, they're actual role plays. And it'll be one of our leaders, they'll very often have a split screen, and they're actually simulating what a phone call looks like when we talk to somebody, if we're describing the program to them or we're sharing about the program. So that is a very, very useful tool as we're getting up and running, because often we're very nervous about this. We're not quite sure how we're going to talk to people or what it's going to sound like. So it gives that great example. And so if somebody was going to watch the video, they would just click that video, and then there are some questions. What's really cool about this, if you're the type of person that likes to write things down to make it stick, there's notes sections. They'll ask questions. You can jot down your answers, and then that's printable at the end. Oh, here's an example of it where you can type your notes, and then you can and save them, put them aside. Great place too to type any questions that you might have. You might be doing this module on your own, and then you're going to recircle back with your business coach when you're finished with it to discuss it and next steps. A great way to document your questions. Wow, that was weird. Okay, and then of course there's a certificate of completion at the end, so that's kind of fun, just to show that you're going through the different modules and showing your growth through the training. So the next one, so that's kind of what it looks like, and then the next one, the next module would be, of course, the sharing, Take Shape for Life with others. How do we begin to talk about the program? And this is where a lot of the new forms that we're using, that we have been talking about at convention, we've been talking about them at our local trainings, and your business coach will help you with this. But the new tools that we're using, this is going to be the resource to be able to download them, and also the training on how to use them. So we've got the well-being evaluation, and this is the tool that we're using where we're having prospective clients or health coaches. I think it's a good idea to give this to them have them complete this evaluation before we even have a discussion with them. But they can complete this evaluation and answer questions about where they think they are with their personal health, their healthy work-life balance, their healthy mind, and then in their financial arena. The tools are also here, which is really great for doing a presentation on the health program, or a presentation on the trilogy. Maybe you're doing a full offering. And what I had shared at our local training was these are presentations that are great for large group settings. So if you have, let's say, a PowerPoint, you're standing in front of a group and you're doing a presentation, and it's a great tool for that. And what's nice is that whether I'm doing this presentation or Susan Palace is doing this presentation or Julie Apple is doing this presentation, we're all delivering the same message of consistency. But when I was a new coach, what I liked to do was, if I was sitting down face-to-face with somebody, I would bring my laptop and have this presentation with me and have it pulled up just in front of us. It's just a simple PowerPoint. And the way I would describe it to a client was, I just want to have this up to make sure I don't get off track, that I make sure I hit all the highlights. So it's a tool that you can use even in a one-to-one presentation. So definitely worth going through that. And as you complete this module, the additional training on how to use this tool is there, as long as talking points, how to use some of the marketing brochures that we have, the Healthy Body brochure, the Discover Take Shape for Life brochure, and then also the health tracker form is what we previously called our client profile form. So even existing coaches, we need to be aware of this, that this is now the client profile form if we're talking to a new client and setting them up on the program. And then the well-being tracker is a new form that works in conjunction with the well-being evaluation. So as we're starting to work with an individual, we want to be able to help work them and help them progress towards what they want to achieve in all areas of the trilogy. So really cool that they brought this all together here for us. This is exactly how it's laid out in the tutorials. These are all the areas. So you can see that we have a lot of existing things, and then they are still working on some modules. So this is a work in progress. A lot of the ones I love it, leveraging your business coach, growing your candidate list. So I think that this will all be very, very helpful to us down the road. This next one, client acquisition and support, very important as this is really how do we start to set up a new client, and how do we set up our own file system for organizing? Because once you start working with prospective clients and clients, we need a systematic way to be able to know where they are in our system. So this is going to be the place for that. So within this are going to be the instructions on how to start a new client, how to place their first order, what do we do the first couple of days, how do we conduct our check-in calls, what kind of questions should we be asking. So all the things that we're probably all very unsure of when we're starting this, it's very mapped out for us very well. And then these are down below the tools and the forms and the resources, which go all the way to the basics. I love the welcome letter that we send to a new client. It's editable, you can modify it to you, but at least gives you that basic framework to work with. And then a real important tool is the referral letter template. We do want to teach our clients early on. You want to hopefully build a referral-based business where your clients become your marketing department for you. So early on, we want to teach them how to do that. And put in this referral letter is really great that it teaches our clients what to say and what not to say to help most effectively help direct people to you so you can have the conversation with them. And so I'm going to page through this a little bit, and then I'm going to ask for some assistance from Cindy Trow is going to help us. Cindy Trow is going to help us with showing us about the organization system. In the past, we had a file folder system that was included in our business kit, our health coach kit, but that is no longer with us. We're going green. And so now within this module, they'll teach us how you can create your own file folder system that you can either use folders and organize them on your desk. You can put them in a binder, or there's even an online system. So I am going to stop screen sharing, and I'm going to turn it over to Cindy for a second, because Cindy has gone through all the steps and organized a binder, and I'll let her share about that.
Okay, so I don't know if you could see it, but basically I have, and I just saw it on the screen, I went to the back office and I went to the document library, and I picked up the entire, can you see, does this help, or can you see this or not? I went and got the Client Health Coach and Support System, and it was just right in one of the last screens you have. And it gives you the instructions of how to set it up, which I keep in the notebook. And then it also gives you the instructions for each section, what goes in each section and the guidelines for each section. So what I kept that up there because if you're going to be adding coaches, you want to know exactly how to get them to set up the book, how to go through each part, starting a client, starting a health coach. So then inside that first section, I keep a copy of every document. The well-being tracker, the contact worksheet, it's all in one place, and all the health trackers are all in that instructional section. So I'd never have to go anywhere else to make individual copies if I want a hard copy. It's right here in my book. All the way to the health coach tracker and the connections list. So everything with the instructions, I have every worksheet I'm going to need to work with a client or a health coach. And then it's the different sections and the different stages where you have, I like to keep a file divider that has pockets in it. So if I have any supplementary materials for each one of the sections, I have it in that specific section, and I don't have to go looking for it somewhere else. So when you have your candidates and you're first making your contact sheet, and you might, with some of them, doing the well-being tracker, you'll keep that in that file folder along with your contact list. It tells you everything that goes in there, so you can't miss. So there's a section for new clients, tells you when to call them. And then in the active clients section, what I did was I did a Monday through Friday divider, so that I know when I'm calling them, I could easily switch if I'm supposed to call them on Monday, it's in that section. If I have to flip them to Tuesday, I could put them in there as well. So I know exactly who I'm calling on what day, and that's all listed. And then it goes into new health coach to senior coach to executive director, all the way to your inactive clients. I just went to the beach this week. This is all I really needed to take with me. I have everything that I need. And then in the front cover, I have the business guide. So there's where all my, support is for that, and helping myself and future health coaches. And then I have the getting started overview in the front as well. So the beauty of this notebook, which I just started about 2 weeks ago, is that it's extremely portable and it's extremely complete. And I could see where I could add supporting documents into it and still have one little notebook for everything. Any questions? I know it's hard to see on here, but it's really a beautiful notebook. I love
Can you
it.
hold it up a little
I have
higher?
a question.
Yes, Sandy, and Cindy, can you hold it up a little higher as well? That's a bit better. Okay, go ahead.
How many inch binder is that? Is that a 2-inch or?
I think it's a 2-inch.
Okay.
And that seems to be enough for me right now. So I don't know how much bigger you all need, if you're much bigger than I am, but this 2-inch binder works. I would imagine maybe you might need one twice as big. I'm not sure, but the whole point is the way it is set up. It's just so easy to move things from one section to a next section.
And one more question. Did you print it out on cardstock or paper?
Could you
Did you print it out on cardstock or regular paper?
I printed it out on regular paper. It talked about putting it on some, cardboard or anything, and I tried doing that and it got kind of sloppy on me. So what I did was I put them in the clear covers to keep the pages nice and clean. But my actual dividers are just plain dividers, and it labels the sections. So this one is candidate follow-up. And then the actual sheet that they tell you with the guidelines and the contents, I have it following in a clear, I keep them in all clear plastic so they stay pretty and nice.
Right.
But I tried doing the cardboard thing that they explained, and that just didn't look pretty for me. So I just put in a divider, which I like now because now each of my dividers, like if I need some extra forms or I want to keep, like this is, what section is this? New clients. So I have my quick start guide already in here in my little tab. So I have some extra forms. I have extra well-being trackers in here and what I want to use with my new clients right in here. And then the instructions on the guidelines are right to follow. So it's a really nice system. I love it. I like this much better than what I was using, Susan. So we talked about that. I didn't know how much I'd like this. I just really did it about a week or two ago, and I could tell you that it's fabulous. It's just very easy to follow, and everything you need is in here. And all you have to do is make the copies, and it'll tell you exactly what section to put everything in. Highly recommend it. Anything else?
I love that. I see, you know, some people have like creative memory scrapbook parties. I think you could host like a binder party and we could all come over and make our binders. But yeah, you know, I think just depending on your business, like just keep multiple binders. So I have a separate binder for health coaches and I have, you know, my clients in it. And then when they move to inactive or they've been on maintenance for a long time, I just move them out of that, my active folder. But what is so nice that Cindy described is that it makes it portable. So if you're going to be out of your home office or whatever, and you're going to be on the go, you can have it in the car with you, or you can take it on vacation. And not that we necessarily always want to be calling our clients, but working and keep in touch with your clients. It's a great system. So thanks for sharing that. We're almost through with it, so I'll just page through the rest of this, and then we'll open it up to any additional questions just about the last module that is there.
Cindy, do you have something else?
So Cindy just covered that, and so the last module. There are some new modules coming for expanding our client base, doing one on social media and some additional things. So it's nice to know that that is in progress. And then the very last one is on health coach sponsoring and mentorship. So this is just how we help our coaches get started, and basically what the process is for that. How do we get them? How do we order their kit? How do we get them started? Of course, we always have the goal of helping them reach senior coach if that's what they want to do, and moving through the business path. So that next module is all about that. So again, this is really just to make it unified and concise, short, easy to follow. My advice, if you're a new coach, is to work with your business coach on going through this. This will be an active part of your training, and you'll probably go through this pretty quickly because we usually try to get to the point that we can have you starting to share. You're going to be excited, get you through this pretty quickly. If you're an existing client, coach, it's a great idea to go back through these systems. I mean, I learned a lot just going back through it. I don't think you need to go back and spend 4 hours or whatever and go through it all at once. Just go through, do one module, and then work on something else. I had shared at training, what I heard early on in my career was, managing your time with training, webinars, all the information that we have available, kind of a 5-to-1 approach with that as well. So if, for example, you had 6 hours to work on this business in a week, that you would want 5 of those hours that you were actively working and talking to coaches or talking to clients and supporting clients and acquiring new clients. And then 1 hour would be behind the scenes doing this educational process. So that is that. I'll stop screen sharing, and we can certainly open it up. We have a minute or two. We could open up for additional questions. You can just unmute yourself if you have a question.
Dee, I have a question.
Sure.
You were saying how long does it usually take to get through like one module? How long is that?
It depends really, I think, on the length of the videos in the modules. One or two of them have like a longer bit, like maybe, I think the very first one has the longest video. There's A and one from Dan Bell. And each one of those is like 15 minutes, 14 or 15 minutes. So you're really looking, I mean, I went through them. Again, I'm not a new coach. I'm a little more experienced. So maybe I was quicker. But I mean, I want to say it was 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops. And it wasn't a really, really long time.
Okay. All right. I mean, that just kind of helps me give myself, you know, like you said, that time to focus on it. You know, when you go into it, you really do want to focus on it, not just, yeah.
Hi,
Thank you.
hi Dee.
Yes, Liz.
So how are you implementing this with new coaches? Or do you have any best practices? So you have a new coach come on. Do they go through the training by themselves and then you connect with them and say, okay, what questions did you have? Or are you actually sitting down and online going through the training together with them?
No, I'm more of the type to like, and I've always been this way with a new coach, is just to, you know, share information and then have them go back and do something. Like we used to have the little workbook, like the Achieving Senior Coach Guide, where a lot of this was on paper. So it would be more like sharing, okay, like, could you do the first section of this? And then when you're finished, you know, when do you think you could do that by? If they say 24 hours, okay, why don't we reconnect tomorrow and we'll talk about your questions from it. And then when it gets to things like, you know, sharing their story, I mean, some of it you're going to be doing together, but no, would not recommend sitting and going through the actual module with them. Let them do that part and then just, you know, you be the expert with to answer the questions. Does that help?
That helps. Thanks. Just wondered, and if anybody does something else too, would love to know that as well, but just wanted to hear what the on the ground experience.
This is really new it's new for all of us. So, I mean, Susan and I were talking about it the other day. I mean, we're really kind of figuring it out as we go as well.
Great presentation.
Oh, thank you. Marsha? Can you get it or do you want me to get it?
Yeah, there. So that was such a professional presentation. I'm totally impressed. Where did you get it? Where did you get the presentation?
I did.
Oh,
Oh,
where?
Everything we do is duplicatable on this.
So would you be willing to share that with me, that presentation?
Yes, all of you can have that presentation.
Absolutely.
Oh, good, because you know what? I need to use it super fast.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That
Yep, I'll send it to you.
outstanding. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah,
No problem.
the great thing is that all these things are, all the presentations are all available for all of us. So. Actually,
We're a
Dan
team.
gave us this one, and so we, you know, so, but it's available for us. Yeah, it's really much longer. This is much
I just scaled it back.
right. Going down, you know, even just walking through it yourself. But it is very, you know, again, we're all learning. But I love, you know, Cindy, that was a great visual to put it in. One thing that I'm going to share that I do. When you start getting so many clients that you can't keep them all together, when, you know, we've been doing this for 7 years, so you have a lot of clients, but if you can, and what happens is your clients, I will tell you this, someone may reach their goal weight, then they may disconnect from you. And a year, 2 years, 3 years, they're going to come back. I mean, people come back because they know this works. It just does. Just like Beverly was saying, we first started, this works like nothing else they do. They go and try different things sometimes and they come back. But so I always want to know how to find them, their sheet, their health tracker now. And so I keep it in an alpha file because that's how I know. I just go to Office Max and get an alpha file, and then I keep people in there just so when they call me back, I had someone call from 2 years and I had someone call from 3 years. And so, I mean, I have another file too that I, you know, archive people, but you'll want people, you know, to be able to reach their document. So I think if they're not in your everyday world and you're not contacting them weekly, you can move them aside and just so you can find them real easily. So, and I like alpha because I can find them. But I did do it by days of the week at one time, and that works too. Anybody else? Any questions? Any comments? Okay, so we're over time. It's National Optimal Health Day next week, the 17th of Thursday, the 17th of September. And in Atlanta, we're going to be doing a healthy happy hour at Shine Health and Wellness from 6:30 to 8. I'll be asking everybody to bring some food or we don't know yet. We'll plan that out, Metafast, or we'll do some Lean and Green. And we will hopefully connect with Dr. A. Dr. A is going to do a Zoom call at 7 o'clock. So whether you do something big or something small at your home or just a gathering, or tune in on at 7 o'clock. And he's going to do one at 7 o'clock Eastern, one at 7 o'clock Central, and one at 7 o'clock Pacific time. So Liz, you want to share with us what your idea is, what you're doing in Minnesota?
So I got two things going on. I'm doing a healthy happy hour at my house, 6 to 8. Same thing, inviting people for that. But the other thing I'm doing is a Facebook event, which is it's just I invited a bunch of people through Facebook to track their steps that day and dedicate them to somebody that they love, somebody whose health matters to them. So, for instance, I dedicated my steps to my husband, and I'm going to do 20,000 steps that day. So it's just a way to get people engaged and talking in their clients, not clients, but those are the two things that I'm doing on that day.
I love it. Anybody else have any? All right, we'll talk again next week, but thank you all. Thank you, Dee. Great presentation. Thank you, Beverly. Really nice to meet you. And I know we have a new coach on Marsha's team. And Lori, you have a new coach on your team. So hopefully we'll meet them maybe next week. Awesome. All right, well, thanks, everybody. Good night. And I'll post the playback of this. Great to see everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay.